Hey, welcome back to Heroes and Videos. Today, we're going to be looking at some recent new comics that I picked up. Starting out the show with a look at a hardcover for a independent book that people have been telling me to read forever, and I finally got around to picking up in this beautiful hardcover. Can't wait to show you some mild spoilers for the episode. The Big Blue Boy Scout is back. If that's not enough alliteration for you, we'll have a little X-Men and Absolute Batman. Going to be winding up on a couple of really cool facsimile comics that I purchased that that have some really awesome ads. I know some of you all really like the ads in some of those old books, and so I can't wait to go over those with you at the end of the show. A couple things coming up. Preseason football has started. I know preseason doesn't usually count. I'm a huge Rams fan, but I'm really interested for the first time in many years to see, does Aaron Donald show up? I don't think he'll show up in preseason. Rams don't play players or starters in the preseason, but I am curious about the quarterbacks that we will be playing. So I'm excited to see that game. It may have already been out by the time you see this video. Other things coming up. Avengers Doomsday just had another trailer released, and Vision Quest as well as part of the D23 stuff. So I'll try to have some reaction stuff out, maybe some footage on that. And I promise you, the Spider-Man Brand New Day spoiler-filled video is coming soon. I should hopefully have that out in a matter of days. But again, spoilers all over that. So I will put that out when I need to, or when I can. In the meantime, I'd love if you hit notifications, likes, all the wonderful YouTube stuff. If you want to wait till the end of the video to decide if you want to like it or not, I would appreciate that too. All that wonderful stuff helps the channel. But with all that said and done, let's get right into it. Here's that independent book I was talking about. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. It almost looks like one of those lenticular covers or holograph covers where you can move it and it's a different picture. It's kind of hard to see. There's a version where the mouth is open and one where it's not. It's not one of those covers. It's just, this was the cover of one of the books, I think, or one of the issues, and it's gives a little bit about the story. I read the second storyline, if you will, the one called Rites of Spring, I believe. That was my introduction to this character and to this story. So I was a little spoiled for what happens in this book, as you are now for looking at the cover. But everybody said, man, you need to read the first one. You need to read the first one. I picked up this beautiful hardcover, and I think I mentioned it in a recent video. Honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I have since read it. And I read it in one night, maybe two. Like I read the first issue, I think. It is just a beautiful work. This book is just phenomenal. Just the art. It's a really different design. I don't want to say funny animal book because a good part of it is not funny, but it's just really well done. And if you haven't read this book, you should. And this is a beautiful hardcover copy or hardcover edition. Turns out this might be the guy's first work. As a writer and artist at creating this, and it's just phenomenal work. So I know I'm late to the party on that one. You can put in the comments if you've read it or not. Put spoilers if if you're putting anything in the comments that would spoil anything. Now, I mentioned the Big Blue Boy Scout. Well, Action Comics 1100 came out, and somehow, I don't know if this just wasn't on my pull list, I got 1100 and 1101 in the same week. I decided to keep this out of the bag so you could see that beautiful cover, and it kind of let me see if I can give you the full thing here. There we go, without the glare. Now, my only complaint here, I see a plane, I see a locomotive. I don't see a bird. Isn't it? If it's a bird, it's a plane. But he is more powerful than a locomotive, I guess, right? And faster than a speeding bullet, though I don't see a speeding bullet on there unless that's a bullet train. But it was just such a beautiful cover, and the story's very good. It's wrapping up a lot of the stuff that's been going on in Action. Action has been in this reign of the Superboys that's occurred since Superman disappeared at the end of DCKO. Each of the different Superman titles has focused on a different Superman-related character. Superboy Prime has been in the regular Superman title, and that's just been a phenomenal book with Josh Williamson writing that. This is, I want to say Mark Waid's writing this one. Yep, Mark Waid, who is apparently everywhere. Mark Waid is pulling up Brian Michael Bendis at Marvel from way back, where it seems they're doing everything. Maybe John Byrne, George Perez is another good example from back in the day. This story's been taking place where three characters have gone back after in trying to locate Superman after the events of DCKO. Martian Manhunter, Mary Marvel, and Booster Gold taken a Legion time sphere, time bubble, whatever they call them, and have gone back to Superman's past when he's Superboy and learning how to be Superboy and all that, hoping that somehow, I'm not sure of the timey-wimey science involved, but they're trying to find, they're trying to locate Superman by locating his younger self. End up with all kinds of Back to the Future time shenanigans and causing things to change that maybe shouldn't. But they do end up, again, mild spoilers for the episode, for the books, they do end up finding Big Blue. And so, just like with the death of Superman way back, he looks a little different. That is Superman there with the beard. Was asking when I bought this book, when I picked it up this week, hey, wait, is that John? Like younger Superman. No, this is actually young Superboy. So this is Superboy finding himself, so to speak, his older self. Just a great cover. Just amazing book. I already wrapped it up here in plastic, or I'd show you the other cover. The regular cover didn't really do it for me. I love these. I love these painted covers, these variant covers that are on these books. Though the regular cover is fine. It's a perfectly wonderful piece of art. There's a lot going on. I just love the simplicity of this shot here. So Action Comics 1101, Superman is back, baby. He's back. Next up is X-Men. So I've been talking about the Gail Simone book a lot, the New Orleans X-Men. This is the other group of X-Men. This is Scott Summers' group of X-Men that are living up in Alaska in a abandoned factory. Was a Sentinels factory. And this book is crushing it too. It's really, really good. The Beast is seen there on the front and the middle. You've got Quentin Quires in this book. I love his stuff. Juggernaut's in the book. The last issue we talked about how Juggernaut's not a mutant, but it's interesting seeing him. Ilyana, a number of these new characters on here. Edie, Zorn is back. Speaking of people back, Zorn's been back for a while. Always thought that was a fascinating character, as well as Magneto. Yeah, I call him Magneto. Sue me. The cool thing about this, as you see, is it's kind of inverted. And there's Evil Beast and his group of mutants that are that's a future iteration of the Beast. And I'm really curious. I don't know a lot of the backstory of Zorn, or the mid-story, I guess I should say, of Zorn. I loved him when Grant Morrison introduced him. This is, I believe, Joseph, the Magneto clone, in the back there with Beast's evil team there. So I'm curious if they'll address the fact that at one point Zorn was revealed to be that character, I think. Or no, Zorn was revealed to be Magneto. Magneto. Tomato. Your mileage may vary. And one more side note. I'm going to jump back to Superman for just a minute. I don't know if you guys watch Casually Comics with Sasha. She just did a really great episode with going through the Superman Unlimited storyline. I mentioned John Kent, and that we were thinking that might be him on the cover. John Kent has a fantastic arc, it sounds like, in Superman Unlimited. I did not read it, but the cliff notes are over there in a recent episode of Casually Comics, so you should check that out. Sasha's it's all DC content pretty much. But other than that, it's really fantastic watch. Speaking of DC content, this is a new book, Batman and Robin Dynamic Duos. This is a Mark Silvestri cover, though I thought it was Jim Lee at first, but it is not. It's Mark Silvestri, and it's a variant cover. Go figure. And it's about the early days of Batman and Robin, and Mark Waid wrote it. I forget Mr. Samney's first name. Is it Mark? Is it Mike? Samney that did the art on the inside. I'm going to give this a couple issues because it wasn't quite my cup of tea. I'm used to the super light stuff with Mark Waid doing World's Finest with that earlier era. This is with Dick even younger as Robin, and I'm going to give it a few issues. I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed the first issue, so we'll see how that goes. And I know we're speeding through these. I want to get to those facsimiles at the end. We're almost there, guys. Talked about this a little bit in a recent episode. Queen in Black Thor. This is the mortal Thor on the cover. It's part of a two-parter. The other one was Queen in Black Hela. Queen in Black event kind of sucked me in. I got a blind bag and really enjoyed the first issue. I'm not usually a fan of these events that are happening so fast you can't really keep track of it, because obviously we've got Avengers Armageddon going on, and that seems like it's going to reset the Marvel Universe to some degree. Not a crisis reset, but at least be the main event. But there's also this going on where we've got Hela and Null, going to destroy the Earth or take over it or some such. And so it just feels like a lot going on at once. The cool thing about this book, I've just realized, and even though I've been reading Mortal Thor for a year now, currently in the Marvel Universe, everybody's forgotten that Thor and Asgard exist. All they remember is Beta Ray Bill, and their memories of all of their memories of Thor now have Beta Ray Bill having been in that role. Beta Ray Bill's the only one that remembers all of this, which is a little crazy. Though some of like a couple Asgardians are in here that do as well. It's a pretty interesting read. The only thing I don't like about it is that it takes place, this issue at least for the Mortal Thor, takes place like 3 issues of his book ago. And I don't know, it feels a little weird to go, I get it, these events take place before Steve Rogers quit being Captain America, or before whatever, Iron Man got a nose, or whatever it was back in the day. And this states that. I like the editorial note. It states this issue takes place before Mortal Thor number 9, but I don't know why it would have to, except, now that I think about it, it may be after that's the start of an arc, and it's not like the lead gets a real breather between there. I'd have to go back and look and see. That maybe I have to trust Marvel editorial. Let's stop and unpack that phrase for a minute. I'll have to trust Marvel editorial that they realize there's no other place to fit it except before that issue. So that takes a little bite out of it, because that makes me think, wait, did the whole Queen in Black thing take place months ago? Or is it just that the events of Mortal Thor are ahead of the curve right now in terms of what's going on? Anyway, I know I'm overthinking it. That's what we do as comic fans, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comments if you are reading Mortal Thor. We'd love to hear more about it. Next up, a couple of amazing DC books. Fury of Firestorm continues to be just one of my favorite books every month. It's one of the ones, when I get it, it's one of the first ones I read in the stack. It's issue 5. I think it's wrapping up with issue 6. Jeff Lemire is writing it, which is not a deal breaker for me, a deal sealer for me, right? And I love the two. You can see here how the art's been done, and I think it's by the same artist, honestly. But the stuff over here on your right, left, I lose track, is what's happening in present day, and it's intercut with flashbacks or recollections, or I'm not really sure entirely what's going on, of say the 70s or 80s DC comics, where Firestorm's in the Justice League there, and it's just, you can even see the pixels over there if you look close. It's just an interesting juxtaposition, and it also in this issue shows how it would be for Firestorm to interact with all of those established Justice Leaguers, because he was super powerful. Obviously, we've talked about this in past episodes. Drastically underused character in terms of his power set, kind of like Molecule Man and Element Lad in the Legion. But this is just neat, seeing him interact with Green Arrow and Hawkman and Black Canary, and how he is was the new kid on the block, and how powerful he is, but how much of a neophyte he is as well. So really enjoyed that. And then talked about being on top of the list, Absolute Batman. This is the most recent issue of Absolute Batman, number 23. There are 2 Batmen on that cover. It's not really clear from the cover, particularly with all those giant Robins that we've been seeing, or the Robin crew that's been in those big suits. So I wondered, is it one of them? But they look like they're on the same side. So I kind of have an issue. I love the cover. I kind of have an issue with the composition. I can't really tell what's going on. Give you a mild spoiler. I'm going to give you a few spoilers inside the book here in a minute. They're fighting each other, but it's not entirely clear by that artwork, by that cover. You let me know. Got an alternate cover here behind me. but it's just this, the way this book is laid out, the panels, the dialogue is so thick, so there's so much of it. Oh, and I just love when they go to these panels, the when they go to the title page. I just love that. In a lot of books, it just, there's maybe one little piece of dialogue or prose in there. And that's an issue I have with the Mortal Thor. It's often it's just it's just a word balloon or something. I love the fact that yes, it's the title page with all the credits, but it also gives us a wonderful, a very beautiful piece of art. Now let's get into these facsimile books real quick. This is one I picked up. This is what covered with. This issue is spotlighting Invisible Lad. Sorry, it's not. This is just a blank cover. Going to Baltimore in a month or two, and I guess a little over 6 weeks. And and I thought maybe I'd see if I could get some of the new Legion creative team if they're there. And I frankly haven't looked. Maybe get some folks to do some sketches of a Legionnaire character. Jose Luis Garcia is often there doing stuff, and so that would be kind of cool to get somebody to do something on this. It's a reproduction or facsimile of the first appearance of the Legion of Superheroes of Adventure Comics 247. I recently picked up the third appearance of them, and so it's kind of cool. And as I was reading through this, do you remember how in the 50s and 60s, I mean, most of us aren't old enough to remember the 50s and 60s, but those old Golden Age comics, Superman could be, and Superboy could be a real weenie, right? Do some terrible things to people. Oh, like, I tricked you, I wanted you to think this, and he's putting Lois through all kinds of heartbreak and drama simply for a gag kind of thing. Well, I'm wondering if the Legion didn't get that from Superboy or vice versa, because they're terrible to him in this book. They make all these challenges. Oh, first off, it's very interesting to me, and I know whenever you're dealing with the future, it's hard to imagine just how different it will be. They basically just show up and start calling him, calling out his secret identity, and calling him Superboy when he's Clark, calling him Clark when he's Superboy, and then they're like, haha, we were just having fun with you. We're from the future. And take him off to the future. Spoilers for a 60-plus-year-old book, by the way. And then there's, of course, a Superman robot. Classrooms look pretty much like they do now. This is 1,000 years in the future. There's no AI. There's no Zoom. There's no monitors. They're just teaching school in class with students raising their hand and all that good stuff. Superboy robot, which is crazy to me that that was ever a thing, but I know it was. It was malfunctioning, and so, lo and behold, we've got Superboy. In fact, I think it's just cool that they say to the teacher, the Legion brought him into the class, and they're like, hey, we've got Superboy in person. And the teacher's just like, how fortunate. Nothing about time travel. I guess it is the Legion, right? But, he's just like, oh, fantastic. Superboy can finish the demonstration. How great. And then at one point, of course, the Superboy robot takes off, and the teacher says, wait, the Superboy robot's running away. It's worth $1 million. So you do the math, maybe put it in the comments to tell me what, with inflation, $1 million in 1,000 years from now would be worth. I mean, I'm thinking like, what was it, the price of a hamburger? What? $1 million in 1,000 years from now, it feels like it wouldn't be that big a deal. And I'm pretty sure you can't build a Superman robot for $1 million today. So, though I may be wrong, but kids, don't try that at home. So and the other thing is, you're worried about the $1 million. It's a Superboy robot running Renegade. It feels like there's a lot more to worry about than $1 million. But it's just kind of neat. I know, and even at the end, they're so cruel to this guy. They're so cruel to Superboy. They do these 3 challenges, and of course something goes crazy with every one. So he fails mainly because he went to help somebody else instead of just doing the challenge. He veered off to do something that was more important. And they say, no, sorry, you failed every test. And they're like, I guess only the backward people of the 20th century could think you were a superhero. Maybe they exaggerated, the super deeds, who knows, and Superboy's crying. Cowboy up, man. I mean, it's okay to express your emotions. Sorry. I shouldn't say that. I cry at pretty much every film I see. And so he's like, wow, how will I ever tell him back in Smallville I flunked the superhero out of the superhero club? Who's he going to tell? He's Superboy. So then they're like, Superboy, come back. Huh? No, you remember Superboy. We put you in. That bad time we were giving you was just your initiation. I mean, I feel kind of like maybe that's why Superman in the Golden Age could be such a jerk, because it feels like he learned it from the Legion, or maybe they learned it from his legend in the 50s. Who knows? Because they would have known about all that. But oh, and then there's also some pretty cool ads in here. I talked about those too. Love those old ads. Oh, maybe it was in the next book I was looking at. Yeah, it was. The ads in the DC one are not so great, but in this one, Amazing Spider-Man 100, yeah, I got another facsimile. Well, it's not a facsimile, a variant cover back there. Couldn't find my copies of the original of this, or I'd have pulled those out. But this is a reprint or a facsimile of Amazing Spider-Man number 100. And I'm going to do an episode with this one and the original, because I can just tell from looking at this that some of the colors are off and different. So I'd be really curious as to how it plays out. Here's an ad over here. Not the prizes for cash. I think that was Grit or something, right? No, that's Olympic sales. But over here, this yellow ad, never before seen, unpublished art portfolios by John Romita and Herb Trimpe. And here's what you get. Listen to this. Unpublished art pieces, sketches, drawings, doodles, artist photo, artist self-portrait, wow, okay, and artist biography. It's $2.50 for each. If you order both, you get $1 off. You could get both of them for $4. It doesn't say, there's no shipping fee. You're actually sending it to the Marvel Mania department in California, which is interesting because Marvel's main offices are in New York. But if you order both of them, both sets, you get a special bonus. Order both sets and receive 24 villain drawings free. Now, I don't think this is original art. I don't believe it's original art, but who knows, back in the day. So I just thought that was just a really cool thing, man. And I know $5 in, what are we talking, 1971 was the original publication date. So $5 wasn't cheap back then. The books were 12 cents, maybe 15. The other ad that really jumps out at me, look at that. Joe Weider creates the strong arm method. Now look closely. Let me get that glare out of there. Look at that face. Now that is the Terminator himself, Conan the Barbarian. That the last action hero, Dutch, I think, in Predator. That is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, that is absolutely Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm trying to get him close enough you can see. There we go, Arnold. Now, see those wristbands he's wearing? This is not the Charles Armstrong ad about kicking sand in your face where they give you a workout regimen. You are literally just buying those wristbands. So it says, I got to read this. Bear with me for just a moment. Are you man enough to wear them? These hell-bent for leather and lead bracelets. They turn your arm power on. Now, maybe they're weighted and you wear these things enough, and but I feel like dumbbells would be a better solution. But are you man enough to wear them? Slip on these electrifying new leather and lead strong arm bracelets, and instantly, in a second, your arms start oozing 100% more power. Your body takes on the appearance of ferocious strength, striking fear and terror into anyone who even thinks of attacking you. I don't remember ever being attacked, but, bullied, yeah, but attacked, it gets better. Your manhood and virility comes alive, in quotes, comes alive and across swiftly to women. They instantly sense your sexual power and want to be in your arms. And because of expert craftsmanship, these genuine leather and gold-toned lead weights, there's the weight, with the word power spelled out on each of them, are the latest in mod fashions. They go well with all your clothes, turning them into vigorous-looking styles. You come alive with muscle and sex appeal. No exercise, no sweat to create arm power. I'm not going to doubt that they went well with 70s clothing. I owned some 70s clothing at the time, but I just think it takes a man to wear them. But the thing that jumped out at me was it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and nowhere in this article does it mention Arnold Schwarzenegger. Again, it's 71, so he's just getting started in his career. But I just thought that was hilarious. Also, this one I think we all remember, but the highest or the largest font there is what jumped out at me. Now you can finish high school at home. It's all about earning your diploma in your spare time. I'm assuming it's like a GED, but I think it's just the fact that those 6 or those 5, yeah, I guess I should have finished my high school diploma at home. I can't count. Finish high school at home. Why wouldn't that draw a kid in, right? Like, ooh, I can stay home. And then we all remember the Polaris nuclear sub for $7. Now, man, why would you buy a sub for $7 if you could get all that artwork on the other page for 5 or for 4? Anyway, I don't remember ever knowing anybody that had the Polaris sub, but I'm curious if any of you did. So let me know in the comments. And that was it. I know we all recognize the back of that book. I don't remember actually reading what it was. Cheerful Card Company. I think you're writing greeting cards or something. But yeah, it's actually, I think we've all had books over the years that had that on the back cover. So just thought those ads were great. The story also is amazing. Didn't mean to minimize that. But let me know. I just love those old ads, and I know a lot of you all do too. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you've got any particularly any great ads that you are particularly fond of. Spider-Man Brand New Day still out in theaters. I can't wait to go see it a second time and get up the get that review up, because it really was amazing. It's a best Marvel movie I've seen in a while. One of the best. It's not going to win an Oscar, but unless it's for effects. But yeah, I was just really impressed with that. Check out the Doomsday trailer if you're into trailers, because that looks really good. Can't wait to talk about that. As always, keep reading comics, keep going to see films in theaters, and be kind to each other.